Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and thank you for watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television shows, and we review pop culture to see how it affects our daily lives. Today, we're going to be reviewing the What If series. We're going to be reviewing episode 7, What If Thor Was an Only Child? Let me tell you something. I thought this episode was fun. I really do thought, I thought it was a fun episode. It showed how within this universe, Loki was not brought up or raised by Odin. He was sent back to his father and raised by the frost giants. So Thor grew up as an only child. And how does that affect him being a hero? Well, it most definitely affects him being a hero because he's not. He is now literally only child syndrome. Just looking at Thor and how he was acting, he almost gave me PK kid vibes. Preacher kids vibes. Just pretty much out for himself and wanting to have a good time. And not really thinking about how his good time is affecting the universe, being that he is considered to be lower G God, a god. So he's not really looking at that. He's acting like I want to say he's acting like a teenager. The way it was all rolled in, it was like he was like an older teenager. That's how he was acting. Now, I do know that the Asgardians' lifespan is so much longer than the average human here on Earth. So he's probably lived hundreds, probably a few centuries. But he still, at that point, had the mindset of maybe like a junior, senior in high school. That's the mindset he had. He had this party mindset. When his parents were away, he hardied until he couldn't party anymore. So the episode opens pretty much with them being on Asgard. It goes over the little montage about how Loki wasn't raised by Odin. He went to Jotunheim and was raised by his father, Laufeyson. So he was raised with his people. So he was over there raised with his people. I thought the interesting thing about that was when we see Loki, when he comes in, he's not like Thor size. He is like big frost giant size. So I guess he went over there and had his frost giant Wheaties and kind of grew up to be the the frost giant he was meant to be. But anyway, let's get back into this. So we see Thor, and how he has grown up through this montage. So it basically opens up with Odin going into his Odin sleep. And when he went into the Odin sleep. Now, I'll also say to you this. They kept with that Taiki Waititi. I think that's Taiki Waititi. Taiki Waititi. The man that directed Thor, Love and Thunder. Best Thor episode ever. They kept with that comedic vibe about Thor, and I love that. I think that's why I enjoyed this episode, because it kept with that very fun Thor and not that very trying to be very serious and brooding hero type Thor in the first and two iterations of Thor 1 and Thor 2. I love Love and Thunder, I think, because of the fact that it had that comedic thing, and it fit someone to me like Thor. You have all this responsibility, but you don't want to be too serious, but you don't want to be too flaky. There's an even side to him. He gave me a human side to himself, as far as that. It was a nice little balance of the fun and the seriousness. So Odin goes into Odin sleep. Frigga, she decides, hey, you gonna be asleep. Hey, I got to go out here and be with my girls. I'm fixing to dip. She tells Thor, like, Mom, you gonna get your work done. You're gonna do A, B, C, D, and B. And then when I come back, you better have it done or else. So she gave me Black Mama vibes. I'm just gonna tell you. She gave me Black Mama vibes. Like, I'm finna go out here. But when I come back, you better have that meat thawed out. That's all. I'm sorry. That's the vibe she gave me. So she leaves. She has and she tells him, look, Heimdall is gonna see it. You mess up, you act up, you do something you're not supposed to, and Heimdall's gonna see it, and Heimdall's gonna tell me. And if he comes and he tells me anything, there's gonna be hell to pay. See, that's that vibe she gave. And then she went off into the Bifrost to go be with her homegirls. Shout out to Frigga. So the episode pretty much mirrors what happened. That he comes down. He actually comes down like Loki did. You remember when Loki came down, and he was, with Loki, like he was trying to be the king and the savior and the dictator and everything else. Child, Thor came down. He was ready to party. Do you hear me? Thor had this whole planet jumping. Do you hear me? Thor started this party, and the whole planet was jumping. The whole planet was jumping so bad that all the aliens and the extraterrestrials were coming down because they was gonna get they thump on too. Boy, they was bankhead bouncing and doing TikTok challenges and dance challenges and selfies and everything else. I mean, they was down here partying. Okay, so I'm dating my age, going up and down, so forgive me. Jane Foster's character was basically the same, but she allowed her giddiness, her girliness about falling in love with the cool kid, the cool kid, but with Thor's partying and how hard Thor parties, and I mean Thor parties hard. There is no mistaking that Thor can party. And him not understanding that his party, even though it's a good time and people are having a good time, it's also messing up the planet. Things are being destroyed. Things are people are not working. People are doing things. Everything is pretty much being destroyed slowly but surely because of the partying. Because there's so many people coming to the party. There's so many beings, so many extraterrestrials, so many aliens, so many all different things. They're all coming to party. So even Loki, as I mentioned earlier, he comes down and he's in his great frost giant self. Him and Thor's are like brothers from another mother. They're partying and doing all of these types of things. And so, these are big, huge giants. So you think about them partying. Could you imagine them frost giants out here doing the cha-cha slide? Wiped out. Populations wiped out. Because they're big, they're huge. You had the squirrels out here partying. You had Rocket and Groot and Dax and all of them out there partying. You had just everybody coming in this party atmosphere, music playing, so everybody's partying. And when you look at that is a tale of, if we spend so much time appeasing ourselves or satiating who we are and what we're doing because of so much what's going on in the world, we will mess around and the world will start coming to an end because no one is paying attention to anything. Everybody just wants to be satiated. Everybody just wants to party. Everybody just wants to get their groove on. And how that, in a bigger sense, I guess what Thor's showing us, that we can sit here and find ways to distract ourselves. We can distract ourselves into oblivion. And that's what I got out of that. We can distract ourselves to the oblivion. And we find out that that's basically what has happened before with one of Thor and his parties, because Jane Foster sees this event happen on another planet, and then she sees where that planet is destroyed. And so now the same signatures, which is the Bifrost coming down, is coming here. And so she hollers for, at the beginning, she hollers that there's an invasion, and here comes Thor. And Thor is not here to take over the world, to actively destroy it. He wants to party. which leads to the same result, that you're going to be able to destroy it. So we see all of this, and these are the things that are unfolding. I can't think of her name, but she's Nick Fury's right hand woman, Marie. I think her name is Marie. The right hand person. She's now taking charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. because when Nick Fury and his awesomeness goes out to try to talk to Thor, he's in the middle of a party scene, and he gets knocked out, kicked or something, but somebody knocks into him or something like that. I think it was don't give me a line. But anyway, he gets hit and he's knocked out, so now she has to take over to try to help calm down Thor and all this stuff that's going on. And Jane is pretty much enabling Thor. Let's just be real. She's not. She's enthralled by his handsomeness and his good looks and all this other stuff. And shout out to What If, because they have really been milking this Thor and his beautiful self and his hair swinging and him probably smelling like lavender, as though he can drink you under the sea, not the table, but the sea. So she is trying to save him, and so it's Maria. It's Maria who calls Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel comes in, and then she's been noted as the party pooper because she's trying to get Thor to see her, and Thor are fighting. She's trying to get Thor to see that his actions are causing harm to the planet. He doesn't see it. He calls her a party pooper. But as they go on, the world, they are upsetting monuments. People are out on bridges partying. Nobody is doing anything. Everybody's partying. So that means that different species are coming in and they're partying where they are. They probably had a good conga line up underwater. Namor and Aquaman and all them. I know Aquaman is not in the Marvel universe. I'm just being funny. Okay. They probably was down there really getting it up. Just party. It was just like a big rave. Just party, drinking and everything. And so we see in there, and I'm not going particularly in order. I'm just kind of just explaining the episode and the little highlights that I enjoyed of it. We start to see, Jane Foster starts to see that technically, because Thor parties so hard and he doesn't see world consequences, because number one, his father is in his Odin sleep, so his father is not there to basically stop Thor and what he's doing, and though he is afraid of his mother, he figures while the cat's away, the mouse will play, and so he's out there really playing. But in his efforts of play, he is not realizing that he's causing the destruction that he's causing. So he is really a watershed moment. He could actually cause the end of the planet because of this need to party and this need to do all of this stuff. So we come to the funniest part to me. So when Jane realizes, because Captain Marvel doesn't do it, Maria Hill, that is the second in command, she decides that she's gonna nuke Thor. She feels like Thor can be eradicated with a good nuke. Okay. So when Jane Foster hears this, that's now her boo, her man, her boo thing, who she likes, who she sees having a relationship with. She doesn't want him harmed. And so I can't really remember how she understood how to call Heimdall, but she did, and that's when Heimdall woke up. Now Heimdall, how are you looking at everything but you sleep on the job? I'm just not understanding. Now I do understand that you sleep, but I don't understand that you sleeping so long that you did not see Thor go down to Earth and start all this mess. And how did Thor get down there? Because he goes through the Bifrost through you. So how did he convince you to allow him to go through the Bifrost and go down to Earth and wreak all the havoc that he's wreaking? But I digress. You was not on your job, Heimdall. You were not on their job. But so Jane Foster calls his name. He wakes up. He puts the sword down into the thing. He gets Jane up there. Jane explains what's going on. He bifrost her tail over there to where Frigga was. And baby, ain't nothing worse than having to interrupt a woman in her ladies' night or her ladies' century long out, her night out, having to fool around with this child of hers. And baby, when Jane told his mom about what was going on and what her fears was, she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna have to call y'all tomorrow because I got some stuff to handle." Because see, in essence, Thor showing out, and I got to go up to this school because Thor is out here showing out, and we're not gonna have that. So baby, Jane goes back. Heimdall bifrosts Jane back down to Earth. Jane tells him, "Your mama coming. Your mama coming." I just told you. He was like, "Oh, you sold me out." I said, "Your mama coming. That's all you need to know." So baby, it was so funny because his mama was coming. She was flying down that Bifrost. I don't know where she was coming from, but wherever it was going to take her a minute to get there. Boy, when everybody figured out that Frigga was coming and everybody started jumping ship and nobody was about to help him clean up nothing until he had to really use the power of Thor, his power to get everybody's attention. Like, hey, I ain't playing. My mama coming. We need to clean up this house before she get here. Because if it ain't clean when she get here, everybody gonna pay. So, so everybody got to clean his stuff up. If they destroyed a monument or something, they put it back together. What was the guy that caused Ragnarok? The little fiery creature from Dane, man, he was over there trying to hit on the Statue of Liberty. Baby, when I tell you I screamed because he was trying to rap to her. He was trying to rap. He was trying to do all that mess he was trying to do, child. But he messed around and it melted her arm off. He had to go back over there and put her arm back on. The Frost Giants, they had destroyed the arch of St. Louis. They had to put that back. Thor had to go back to Stonehenge and put all them stones up because he had knocked them down like they was dominoes when he was fighting with Captain Marvel. And then his mama get down there and he act like he's teaching the people. Oh my goodness. Thor down there acting like he teaching the people about what's going on and everything like that, trying to fool his mama. His mama knew better at the front, but then Captain Marvel kind of sweetened it up to make it look like he actually was teaching the people. So, and he was able to leave unscathed, and the Earth survived Thor and his party. But at the end, everything was all good until at the end. And then we see Ultron. Ultron to come back down. I guess he got pissed because he wasn't invited to the party. He was out there hating and couldn't get in. And then that party's over. He coming back. So, the Watcher was like, oh, okay. So everything's going to be pretty cool. Everything. He's like, oh, maybe I spoke too soon. Because then Ultron comes back with his other selves, I would say, since they have like a hive mentality. He comes back with his other selves, and then the show goes off. I enjoyed it because, last week's episode to me was heavy. The episode I think before that was heavy. With the Doctor Strange episode was heavy. Last week's episode was heavy. The zombie episode was a little heavy for me. I enjoyed this because there was some levity to the episode. There was some levity to that everything is not always doom and gloom. So I enjoyed the episode for that. I will say, I don't think I mentioned it last week, but I did notice that the Watcher is starting to come in clearer. He is starting to let us see him a little bit more. Where he's always silhouetted into the universe, we're starting to see him fleshed out a little bit more as he's talking to us, which I enjoy. He's still ominous. You see him throughout the episodes, watching and seeing what's going on, and you see his silhouette and his eyes. But it was nice to see that he is, throughout this series, he is starting to be more fleshed out. So I enjoyed the episode for what it was. It was lighthearted. It was something to get us laughing. Thor gives us that comedy. Taiki Waititi was present in there. You can tell because of the way it was light and had that little comedy in it. So I enjoyed that. Again, well, I've been calling it Thor Love and Thunder. What I've been calling it? But it was Thor Ragnarok. Why was nobody? Of course you all weren't going to be able to say anything because I'm here by myself. But Thor Ragnarok, and I've been calling it Thor Love and Thunder. Okay. But I enjoyed, Thor Ragnarok as far as the Marvel Cinematic Universe is one of my top 3 Marvel movies. So I enjoyed that movie. I watch it on repeat, just like I watch Guardian of the Galaxy 2 on repeat. I watch Black Panther on repeat, and I watch Captain America Winter Soldier on repeat. Those are in my top 5. My number 5 fluctuates depending on what's coming in and what's coming out. So right now, I like the Shang-Chi. So that's in my top 5 right now, and it may fall out just depending on if I watch another Marvel movie again and get some more information. As far as the television series, so what do we have? We have WandaVision, we have Loki, we have Captain America, and now we have the What If. So in the order that I'm enjoying them, I would give Loki, WandaVision, What If, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think that's what it was. That's so far as how I've been enjoying them. Loki, because of the fact that television series is like it gives you more insight into what this multiverse of madness is going to be. WandaVision, because it introduced us that there was going to be some chaos and some stuff, and how it fleshed out her character more. I like this What If series because I do like seeing our superheroes in a different light, in a different way, and how they are reimagined. And I like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I like that series. I like them all, don't get me wrong, but it's just my least favorite because it was what I thought it was going to. It gave me what I thought it was going to give me. It gave me that social consciousness, that push and pull about taking on responsibilities that you had once thought that you were not going to take. It also gave me the action that I needed. So I understood all those things would possibly be in there. They were executed decent. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Overall, I like this episode. Again, I like it because I had fun. It made me laugh. More so than the other ones. Either I was like this or oh no. But this one, it made me laugh. I had fun with it. It was good to see Loki in a different light. That he embraced his frost giantness. I appreciated that I appreciate that. I appreciate him embracing who he is, and I appreciate he had the I think I'll probably do a separate video on that, because I just thought about it. When you think about Loki, would Loki be Loki, or would Loki do half the things he did if he was allowed to embrace who he was, and if he knew who he was? That's an interesting thing. I just it just hit me, and not to bring down all the levity that I had from the thing, but it just hit me that is one of the things that a lot of indigenous people feel, because I don't know if anybody's aware of the fact that back in the early part of last century, that a lot of indigenous children were taken from their families and they were placed with Jewish families or any other thing, and so they were brought up in a different culture and a different thing, and told that they were of a culture. They felt like that's not where they were supposed to be, and then to find out that they actually were from a whole different culture, and that their feelings of who they are was coming out, and not necessarily in the culture that they were brought up in. So that's what that reminded me of Loki. I'll probably do something different. I have to do a little bit more research so that I can really explain what I'm talking about. But that's what that reminded me of. It was good to see him being who he was and being comfortable with who he was, and he wasn't playing. He didn't have to mimic or imitate somebody that he wasn't. And even basically, I was looking at the fact that he had grown up to be a big giant. So just being Loki, Odin's son, was stunting his growth. Mentally, figuratively, and physically. Something to think about. But anyway, what did y'all feel about this episode? How did y'all feel? Did you think it was a good episode? Did you think it was a bad episode? Let me know. If you like what you've seen, hit that thumbs up button for me and leave a comment. And if you so like to see the last videos that I've done, subscribe. And I do this once a week. I review a show, I review a movie. I also review issues in pop culture. So check me out every week. All right, people. Bye.